What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, and I'm back with another video, man. And you already know what I need you to do. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the content I will be dropping. If this is your first time, welcome to Hold My Nuts podcast, where we talk about everything semen retention and no fap. Listen, I know why you're here. It's the same reason why we're all here. We're trying to elevate and become better men. We're tired of the status quo. We're tired of bowing down to women. We're tired of being manipulated by the Jezebels. We're tired of getting taken advantage of, and we're looking to take the power back. And we know fapping and jizzing all over our laptops and desktops and keyboards is not the way. It's not the way. If you already been rocking with your boy, you already know the love is real, man. And listen, I need you guys to tune into the whole video, watch to the end, man, because I'm going to be dropping as much information as I possibly can so we can elevate to the next level. Now, I know if you've seen the title, you're probably wondering, what the heck is he talking about? I want a wet dream. That's right. I want a wet dream. I want a wet dream. If you have this mentality on semen retention, you are setting yourself up for failure. Listen, man, that is not something you should be desiring on semen retention. The reason we're on semen retention is we are retaining. We're retaining. And we're retaining for the purpose of garnering the energy that's going to give us the ability to be able to accomplish and do the things that we desire to do in life. Okay? If you have this desire inside of you to have a wet dream, guess what? You're going to have a wet dream. You're going to have a wet dream. A lot of guys look at wet dreams as, like a little cheat sheet, little cheat code. Okay? I'm not going to masturbate, I'm not going to jizz out or whatever the case may be. But if I have a wet dream, then, it's almost like being able to partake, but it doesn't really count because I'm asleep and I'm unconscious. I'm not aware of it. I'm in a dream. I don't know what's going on. It just sort of happens. Guys, if that's your mentality, you are going to have a wet dream, and then you are going to relapse, because when you come up out of the wet dream, you're going to be thinking about what happened in the wet dream. That's going to arouse you. And then more than likely, you're going to fap. You're going to choke that chicken. You're going to strangle it. Yeah. You're going to choke that chicken. You're going to strangle it. And then you're going to end up doing it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And then next thing you know, you done it 5 or 6 times in a day, because you're like, man, I already bust 1. I might as well get 2. I haven't been busting for the past several weeks. But, since I've already failed, I might as well fall again. And then you just go ahead and you just get it all out your system. And then what happens is you get depressed. You're like, man, why did I do that? Why did I do that, man? Now I got to start all over from day one, because you had in your mind you was going to build a nice little streak. But now you done had this wet dream that you desired to have. You wanted this wet dream. You got the wet dream. You got the scenario that you were looking for. Maybe you release in your dream. Then you wake up and that arousal is there. And then you just start masturbating because the wet dream was so real. It was so pleasurable to the point to where you don't have time to really regather yourself and focus, and you start fapping again. If you desire to have a wet dream, listen, man, you're not really serious about this journey. You're not serious about this journey. You have to ask yourself, why is it that I desire to have a wet dream? Why do I want a wet dream? Why do I want one? Because there's a side of you that still wants to partake in the perversion, that still wants to partake in the sexual appetite, that still wants to feed the flesh, that still wants to feed the beast. That's going to keep you down. You're looking at wet dreams as a way of escape. And that's not the mentality that you need to have. You're trying to find a cheat. You're trying to find a way to escape. Here's the thing. If you desire a wet dream, more than likely you are meditating and focusing on lustful thoughts all day. You're meditating, you're focusing on lustful thoughts all day long. And then you take those dreams in your subconscious mind, you take those thoughts into your sleep. You're walking around, and you got that sexual energy built up. You see an old girl and you see it in your mind, you're like, man, boy, I'll knock her out. I'll knock her out cold. She don't even know. She can get it right now. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm retaining. I ain't even gonna do it like that. But these are the type of thoughts that you're having. This is how you're going about your daily life. You're not actually releasing, but you're still magnifying the energy, right? The emotions, the arousal. You're still walking around with that inside of you. You're just not letting it out. But the more and more you meditate on these sexual thoughts, you will take them into the dream world when you go to sleep, and you will have wet dreams. You're going to have wet dreams, brother. That's just what's going to happen. You are setting yourself up for failure. Because here's the thing. You're feeding your mind with the poison. You're feeding your mind with the poison. You have to cut off every avenue that's going to lead you down a path of destruction. I'm not saying you have to be a monk. What I am saying is you have to cut down those pathways. You have to put aside those weights, those burdens that are going to keep you in the same state that you've been in your whole life. If you leave the door open for these sexual things, eventually it's going to get the best of you. That's just what's going to happen. Guys, you shouldn't be desiring to have a wet dream. You should not be desiring to have a wet dream. That's why you're having wet dreams, because you want a wet dream. That's what you want. Now, I know some of you are going to say, man, listen, I don't want no wet dream. Listen, man, you're meditating on sexual thoughts. You're meditating on it. You're meditating on sexual thoughts. When you do have a wet dream, do you desire to come up out of that thing? When you're in the dream world and you're sleeping, and that scenario comes about in your dream, to where you're gonna knock this girl down, you're gonna knock her down. Do you desire to get up out of that before it even takes place, or do you relish in the fact that this is happening? It's not really a relapse. See a lot of videos, people ask, if you have a wet dream, is that a relapse? People are looking for a way of escape. People are looking for a way to still have their cake and eat it too. But you really have to ask yourself, man, what are you really trying to do on this semen retention journey, man? You want a wet dream? You're going to get one. And you're going to fap continuously after you finish that wet dream. And you're going to have to start all over again. And it's going to be hard for you to get back up, because you've allowed yourself to fall into something that after you do it, you realize, man, you feel ashamed. You're like, man, why did I do that? Because you know it wasn't right. That's why it's hard when you come off of a streak. You go however many days you go, however many weeks you go, and then you fall and you give into the temptation. Immediately you come to your senses and you realize it wasn't worth it. Why is that? All of a sudden, when you actually jizz all over your laptop, when you jizz all over your keyboard, when you splatter all over your computer screens, why is it once it's over, all of a sudden you become wise. You realize that this was not something that I should have been doing. This was immoral. This was stupid. Why did I do this? I hate myself. I'm always falling. I'm always giving in to this temptation. There's a reason for it. You're not preparing yourself for success. You're not preparing yourself for success. And guys, I want to make something abundantly clear. Let me make something abundantly clear. I'm preaching to myself before I preach to any of you. These are facts. These are facts. We're here to get better. You should not desire to have a wet dream. You should not desire. You should actually fight against it. You have to pray. You have to fast. You have to cut off every avenue that's going to lead you down that dark road. What has porn ever got you? What have you ever received from porn that was beneficial? What did it ever give you? What does chasing girls, what does it ever really get you? Swiping your debit card, swiping your credit cards. What does it ever really get you? Buying girls drinks. What does it really get you, man? It gets you nowhere. You release. You enjoy what you had so bad that now you got to repeat the process all over again. Because you are a slave to your sexual appetite. You're a slave. That's why these women can manipulate us. It's because we're a slave to the V-Box. It's a very powerful thing. The V-Box is a very, very powerful thing. And there are women out there who actually know how to use it to manipulate you, to extract money from you, to extract your time, resources, all of that stuff, man. They know how to use it. Some naturally do it, and sometimes they don't really they're not consciously aware they're doing it. But there's some people, some women out here who actually know what they're doing. This is man abuse, man. It's man abuse. But you don't have to take it if you begin to work on yourself internally and begin to correct these behaviors and begin to have the proper perspective and begin to build disciplines to keep you from falling into these other traps. Because here's the thing. If you're falling into lust and you're giving into your sexual appetite, you're going to be giving in everywhere else, man. You're going to be giving in. You're going to be giving in. You're going to be pulled to and fro. Every woman with a pretty face and a thin waist is going to be pulling you one direction and the other. These are facts, bro. You should not be desiring to have a wet dream, because the desiring to have a wet dream comes from the core of your heart. This is you. This is your desire. Oh man, you rolling around in bed and your thing's hard, and because you're meditating on these evil thoughts instead of meditating about how I'm gonna get this money, how I'm gonna build this plan. God, enhance my vision. God, show me how to go from this level to the next level. Instead of meditating on those type of things, you're meditating on, man, I want to smash old girl. And you feel like you're doing great because you haven't released, right? But you're still giving the energy. A lot of people doing these videos about edging. And I haven't done an official video on edging, but my belief is on edging is, if you're having sex with a girl and you're saying, I'm not gonna come, I still don't think that's beneficial, because you're still spending the energy, the sexual energy. You're losing it. Even though you're not coming, you're still losing that energy, because the energy that you have to use if you're in a session with a woman, the energy that you have to use is still being extracted from you. She's still taking that energy from you. You said, man, I ain't bust. Yeah, I've done that before. You have sex with a girl and then you don't come on purpose, intentionally. But you're still using energy to do that. You're using time to do that. That time and energy that you're using is lost forever. Especially if it's meaningless, meaning this is a woman that you're not going to be with. That's the one advantage that guys have over women. We can look at a woman and we can know off bat if she ever's going to have significant value in our life. They don't know that, but we know that. And if you a man and you watching this channel, you know what I'm saying is true. You know when you see that one, if she's going to be able to be in your life long term. Most of these women are in our life short term, because we know, we have an innate ability to know if this woman's going to do it for us. One conversation, one interaction. We know this was not going to be around for long. We know that. But yet we still spend our money, our resources, and our time on these women. Why? Because we have become slaves to the V-Box. It's not even the woman now. It's the V-Box. We are slaves to it. We're slaves to it. But it starts and it stems from the heart. You desiring to have a wet dream is you saying, listen, man, I want to unconsciously give my seed up, because it's not going to count against me on my street. I'm trying to give you the facts, man. I'm trying to help you improve. I'm trying to get you to look at the intents of your heart. I'm trying to get you to see these things. It's the heart, man. It's the intentions of your heart that's going to have implications in your physical reality. If you desire to have a wet dream, that means you desire to still continue in these things. You're putting up a facade. You're hoping when you go to sleep, you bust a nut. And if you bust a nut, you're not going to feel bad about it, because in your mind, it's not a relapse. But you got to understand, you can prevent those things from happening. You can prevent those wet dreams, man. Or when those wet dreams come to you, you can train yourself to be able to get up before you engage in that activity. And I have a lot more to talk about with wet dreams, but I'm not going to be able to get that out in this video, because I know that there's spiritual implications when it comes to wet dreams that a lot of you guys are not aware about. And that's when we're going to have to go deeper. I might do another video specifically on wet dreams, the spiritual implications of wet dreams. Yes, I've decided to do a video on the spiritual implications of wet dreams. This video, we are going to go deep. It might not be 20 minutes. It might take me double time to really break that thing down, but we're going to have to go deep on these wet dreams, because I don't think it'll be fair for me to talk about these wet dreams on a surface level from the core and the intents of the heart, and then not go a little deeper. Got to go a little deeper. So I'm gonna do a video on wet dreams, the spiritual implications on wet dreams. I need to write that down. Spiritual implications on wet dreams. Guys, I want you to succeed. but we have to really dig into the core of our hearts, because what's in here is going to come out in physical reality. That's just what it is. It's going to come out in physical reality. The video I do on wet dreams and spiritual implications, you guys need to be ready for that, because I'm going to break it down best I can. All praise be to the Most High. I'm going to break that thing down for you. Spiritual implications of wet dreams. Listen, man, I love you. This is Hold My Nuts podcast. Do me a favor, man. If you vibing with this content, hit that like button, because when you hit that like button, it pushes this information out to people who want it and they need to see it. Hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date, and share the video, man. Share the video with people you think might need this. Share the video with people you think, are going down a path and they're living a life and they're not living up to their full potential and they don't know how to get out. It's a lot of reasons guys are going down the tubes. They're being manipulated and controlled by a particular female, or they're being manipulated and controlled by the world system. We got to get our brothers free. We have to get our brothers free. I appreciate each and every last one of you, man. I love you. I try to respond. I do respond to every single comment. I respond. I'm engaged. Hold My Nuts podcast, man. I'm going to holler at y'all in the next video. Peace.